This video will introduce students to the various tools and setup for the CIS 481 for the spring 2025 semester. This course will have 3 different websites that work together. The main website is the LMS, which hosts the assignments, grades, schedule, and messages. This is where students start each week to access the outside course tools like the digital textbook, activities, instructions, and links found in the Cengage Mind tab. This is a website students will need to register with paid access and may already have a Cengage account if used in previous courses. Cengage will also direct students to GitHub to complete specific programming tasks in the repository. GitHub access is connected and accessible through the paid Cengage Mind tab account. Again, students will need to create their own login and may already have a GitHub account if used in previous courses. These 3 websites work together, so students will use them throughout the week. For example, students will start in the LMS to find what is assigned in the weekly module, link to the Cengage Mind tab to read the digital textbook, and find links that launch programming activities in GitHub. The instructor can see student process in GitHub and Cengage Mind tab as well as the LMS. Let's look specifically at the LMS. The Sakai modules are accessible for the entire semester so that students can see upcoming content and assignments. Typically, students should start a module Monday and complete the task Sunday, repeating this process weekly. Note that the assignments, discussions, and quizzes within each module only open and close on the assigned week. Also note that Module 13 is a 3-week module due to a group project with multiple tasks. The digital textbook is essential to read. While students read the chapters assigned weekly, there are step-by-step instructions to complete programming tasks with example images. The modules in Sakai also have downloadable documents of steps. Students may find it helpful to work in 2 different browser windows at the same time, one displaying the steps and the other displaying the programming work. Let's look specifically at Cengage Mind tab. As stated before, Cengage Mind tab is the publisher that hosts the digital textbook, instructional videos, and other study tools. Students will need to create their own logins to Cengage, but may already have an account if this was used in previous courses. Due to the amount of vocabulary and complex programming steps, students are strongly encouraged to make full use of this website. When students launch a programming activity from Cengage Mind tab, a new browser tab will open. Students may find it helpful to work in 2 different browsers or windows at the same time, one displaying the steps and the other displaying the programming work. Remember that any grades recorded in Cengage Mind tab will be manually entered into the LMS gradebook because scores do not sync. Students should be patient when checking for updated grades. In Cengage Mind tab, students are assigned 2 programming tasks for each module or chapter. Typically, students should complete the Analyze, Correct, Improve activities first to practice guided programming, and then attempt the Code Apply Your Knowledge, as these tasks ask students to program from scratch, which requires a higher level of application on the student's part. These activities will open in GitHub and allow students to check their correctness for each task through auto-grading. These scores are sent to Cengage Mind tab, and instructors will manually enter those scores into the LMS gradebook. Cengage Mind tab also has optional activities that are ungraded but may be helpful for students, especially in preparing programming skills for the group project starting in Module 13. For help with Cengage Mind tab, including creating accounts, registration, and troubleshooting, students can contact Cengage technical support directly. Students are encouraged to bookmark the help URL shown here in the blue box. Let's look specifically at GitHub. GitHub has partnered with Cengage Mind tab to host assigned programming activities in coding labs and utilize auto-grading so students can check their work step by step. Students are strongly encouraged to watch all of the introductory videos regarding GitHub before starting the first assignment. GitHub has highly customizable displays, so screenshots shown here may look different in student accounts. The important thing to note is that programming activities have step-by-step tasks that students can check individually and receive feedback to correct work. These tasks have unlimited attempts for students to get the programming right. When students reach a percentage correct, they can submit to the instructor. Remember that scores are manually entered into the LMS gradebook, so please be patient. This is an example GitHub screen display. First, the name of the current file is shown in the panel. Next, the workspace for students to enter programming appears. Depending on the task, start code may appear. Students are given step-by-step tasks, and if done correctly, the task displays a green check mark with feedback. If incorrect, the check mark is red, feedback is given, and students can retry unlimited times. Note that students can change the display to be light or dark, and that correct programming tags utilize a color scheme. This is helpful in finding bugs. Let's recap how the course works. The LMS is the starting point for each week in the module. Step-by-step instructions are hosted in Cengage MindTap that link to GitHub. Scores are captured by GitHub will display in the Cengage MindTap, and the instructor will manually enter those grades into the LMS gradebook. The entire course schedule is found in the LMS. Students can set their preferences to be notified 24 hours in advance before an item is due on Sundays. Discussions require an additional post to get started, typically by Wednesday, halfway through the week, and follow-up responses by Sunday. A Cengage MindTap activity scheduled is available by week. These are typically chapter reads, videos, activities, and optional content. Remember that small programming projects are utilized in the textbook, with step-by-step instructions as well as downloadable documents to display while working in a different window. The group project will be with a few classmates in a team setting, in which students will build a website following instructions and files given in the LMS module. Although this project is hosted in a single module, the work will be completed over 3 weeks. Please pay close attention to specific deadlines. Most LMS modules will have short multiple-choice quizzes over the content in each chapter from the textbook. Students are advised to complete the quizzes at the end of the week to ensure they've learned the concepts. The midterm and final exams are cumulative over the previous chapters. Students should be ready. Best of luck. Let's get started.